Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, what's up, High Low News family? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk, our podcast where we talk to dope people in the community doing dope things. And today is a very special episode because we are highlighting the Black Achievers presented by Jack Daniels. It is a Black history effort by the company to highlight the best and the brightest in South Florida. And today I have a very special guest, and we are so excited to be hosting this event, which will be going down February 28th. It is a collaboration of High Low News, Social Exchange, and Sweet Butter Hospitality Group, all sponsored by Jack Daniels, who wants to put a spotlight on amazing people in the community. And today our guest is a very important person that you should know and you should learn their story. So introducing you to our Black Achiever Award recipient, Geden Franck, Dr. Geden Franck. Hey, welcome to the show. Hey, Dr. Geden Franck. Did I get that right? I just want to make sure we got it.
Yeah, you definitely got it right. It's basically like the Garden of Eden, but with a G in front of it. So Geden. And that's how nobody ever says it right, but it's Geden Franck.
Yes. And I had to go back and back it up because I want to put respect on your name, Dr. Geden Franck. Make sure I give you that. You went to school all them years, you need to have that doctor.
Hey, I'll take it. You're right. All my life.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today and, for being a great example for people in the community. And I want to jump right into your story. You're being honored as a Black Achiever through the Jack Daniels Black History Month event. And I want people to know, how did you get started in the medical field? What was that inspiration for you that said, this is what I need to do?
Well, I mean, for me, it was basically just a kind of learning what I was good at, what I liked, what I enjoyed. Also with some external motivation from my parents. So I'm a son of two Haitian immigrants, one being a highly successful lawyer in Haiti who came over here, and he basically just wanted what's best for his kids. And, if you know any Haitian Americans, your parents play a huge role in this because they are basically you can be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, and basically just push that agenda. And it really resonated because I actually was really good at the sciences, and I basically was like, you know what, let me my dad exposed me really early to some Black doctors in the community, and I was like, yo, this is cool. I think I want to actually do this. And as time went on, I kept asking questions, meeting people, working in the medical field. I went to Miami Northwestern Senior High School, home of the Bulls.
Me too. I graduated from there, but I'm a Chief at heart. As you can see, I'm literally wearing a Carol City shirt. But that's another story for another day. But I do rep the Bulls.
But I was part of their medical magnet program there, and awesome. It was through there, going through and being those experiences. Man, you can make huge differences in people's individual lives and the community as a whole in this medical field. And I just kind of wanted to be learned how to be wanted to be the top. And I was and that's when the journey started. I didn't know how hard it was going to be when I first started, but man, I sure learned along the way.
Nice. Where'd you go to medical school and do undergrad? Tell us about that experience and your education part of it.
So yeah. So growing up in Miami, I didn't really know much outside of Miami as far as getting no higher education. But as I learned and I went through school, I actually started off at Miami-Dade Honors College. And then from Miami-Dade Honors College, I learned about all these dope schools. And I wanted to go to a really successful school so I can add all this to my pedigree and blah, 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 blah. So I ended up going to Emory University in Atlanta, which was one of the most amazing schools that I found. And because I got accepted to some really dope school, I got accepted Johns Hopkins, Cornell University, University of Florida.
You smart. You super smart.
I worked. I wasn't about smarts. I just worked hard.
Yeah.
I really just worked hard, and I guess my story resonated with these people, and and these higher ups. And when I applied, leaving Miami-Dade Honors College, I had a basic 4.0 GPA. With all the honors classes, and graduated summa cum laude, and they basically was doling out hey, we want you, and giving me money. And I still remember to this day, like when I was picking between schools like Columbia, Johns Hopkins, Cornell, University of Wisconsin, all these high level schools. What really did it is I wanted to be at the best school, but not too far away from home. So Emory was a great opportunity. Emory was like the top 15 to top 17 school in the whole nation. It was in Atlanta. It surrounded me by like HBCU culture with the AUC right there, and gave me a great establishment where Emory was known as like a pre-professional factory. Had an amazing med school, which I got amazing support from, and it just was one of those things where I was like, "Hey, let's do it. Let's just take this leap of faith and go there." I forgot med school, and then I got the opportunity to go to Florida State College of Medicine, Tallahassee, Florida, and it was just a dope experience. I was class vice president all my time there, and from there went to University of Maryland for a residency, and did my sports fellowship down at University of Miami. And then from there, I actually worked in Houston for a couple of years in academics, and then I came back home and to see what's popping.
No, that's what's up. And I wanted to, you gave me the perfect segue. I wanted to know where you are today, and tell our audience about the work you do today, the type of medicine that you practice, and actually what brought you back to Miami to do this work.
Oh, definitely. So what brought me back to Miami and what work that I do right now. So right now I am the lead sports medicine or lead/head sports medicine physician for Memorial Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Center. And that brought me, and basically I work in the Department of Orthopedics as a sports medicine physician, and I work with trying to help everybody get back and stay in shape, help them with all their injuries, take care of concussions, fractures, Achilles, ACL injuries, any type of sport injuries, as well as like taking care of your senior citizens with their osteoarthritis, and just helping them regain their life back and keep moving them forward and keep them like active. Like, so, I mean, it's a blessing to be able to help all these individuals like stay active and like regain their life, because you don't know the toll that like a musculoskeletal injury can really have on your life.
Wow. What do you love the most about the work that you do?
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
All right. So
no, you're good. So we'll do a pause. No, you're good. We'll do a pause, and then I'm gonna jump into that question.
Go ahead. We good now.
So 3, 2, 1. So what do you love the most about the work that you do?
Man, so what I actually love about the work that I do is the opportunity to take someone who comes into the office and like is giving you all the issues and like telling you I can't do this anymore, and giving them their life back, giving them the opportunity to like go out to be a runner, go out to be active, go out to be able just to even just go to work. And that's the opportunities that I get every day that like make me smile, make me happy. When the patients come back, I was like, hey, I just finished my first full marathon or half marathon, or I did an Ironman. Thanks for helping me out. Or, it's an athlete for a school I take care of. And they're able to get back into the game and like reach their full potential, and like, stuff like that and things like that. And just the influence that you have overall.
I love that. And, we were talking a little bit offline about the significance of being a Black doctor. And, as anybody looking at the screen right now, they could see your extensive shoe collection. I wanted you to talk more about that to the audience, about how you're relating to, our community, how you're making it cool to be in the medical field, and why that's important for you, especially as a Black male doctor.
So as a Black male doctor, I remember being in medical school, and I had a Black female physician come up to me, and she like was really cool, really down to earth, and she was talking to me one day, and she left off with this statement like, hey, I just want you to know you're a dinosaur.
Wow.
And I was like, huh? She was like, Black men in medicine are dying, and there aren't that many Black men entering medical school, entering higher education and professional schools. And I was like, what, for real? Because the significant thing about it is sometimes when you're like entrenched in it, you don't see it as often, or you don't realize it. So like I kind of looked back and said, and looked at the stats. It's only of all the medical providers, there's only about 5% that are African American. Period. 10% of the whole country is African American. Of the physicians in the country, only 5% are African American. And if you break down into that, only about 2 to 3% are African American males. The African American females actually outweigh us at this point. And in medical school, period, there's more African American females, or females, period, than males.
Wow.
And what that led me to do is, even with me growing up, I noticed that there were a lack of higher eds and like physicians and like other professionals as well, but like a lack of role models, because you can't envision being something if you never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that influenced me when my parents try to find physicians and people to help out, to like influence me, for me to see, and that increased my like experience and my knowledge base to be like, you know what, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fill that gap, to do it, to realize, to tell people, you know, hey, what's the problem? Why can't we get more Black men in medicine? And my way of doing it is just being out in front, being personable, being me, and like even my shoe collection's been influenced by that, because one of the things that I really like personally is sneakers. Shoes. I got a good amount of dress shoes too, but I like sneakers. And it was a private thing before, but what I actually realized is, as a sports medicine physician, when I talk to my athletes, one of the first things they notice is what type of kicks you got.
Yep.
And they'd be like, oh, doc, that's fresh. Oh, doc, you got them on? Oh, you hurting them. And then like being able to like connect that way, and be like, oh yeah, these the Jordan Lost and Founds. These or these are the off-white Jordan 1s Chicago, or the off-white Jordan 1s UNC, or like the Chunky Dunkies, and being like, you know what? Like, yo, it's cool to have the shoes, and them to be like, we can have some type of personality in medicine, and understanding that you can input your own personality into whatever you do, and that medicine is actually cool. And for them to ask more questions and just be wanting to achieve, because I'm like, hey, I can do all this because I have a successful career. And if you do the same, you can achieve the same. Like, you don't have to be into shoes, but you also have to have a good amount of knowledge to know that, hey, like, I like shoes, but I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to blow my wealth into shoes. If I can't afford a shoe, I don't need it. If I'm not invested and I'm not growing my wealth, and I'm giving back to the community and trying to build some generational wealth, there's no point in me buying shoes. Like, I gotta build something greater. I gotta have a legacy that goes beyond trying to hand my son, whenever I have any kids, my son some shoes. Like, that's not gonna impact nothing.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we getting a little deeper than I know you want, but
no, this is what we do on High Low News. So go as deep as you want, because I actually love that you're breaking that down, because as we were talking, remember offline, is like you're a different example of what success looks like for especially kids in our community. And you said you're from Miami, you went to Miami Northwestern, so you know what the power of having different options and what different role models could look like, or what different examples of success could look like. And so I'm glad that you're leading the way, but also making it seem very relatable to me. I called it like a hip hop type of doctor, like that cultural influence type of doctor, where you're like, look, I do this. Yeah, I'm, I understand science and all these things in medicine, but I'm also too into shoes as well. Like, you can have both ways. You could be swaggy and be a doctor.
Exactly. Like, all doctors aren't stiff, like, our ties, collar, shirt, suits. Like, we wear scrubs. I wear my kicks to work. My patients see them all the time. My patients, no matter what race, will compliment my shoes. but it's a passion that I have. It's something that I use to like just make something different. I'm tired of the monolith of saying like, oh, every doctor is supposed to be this way. Like, well, you make your own path and you can decide how you live it. So there may be people who don't like me wearing sneakers as a doctor. There may be people who don't like how I present myself, and that's fine. And I may lose some following behind that, but if I can really make an impact in the culture and influence Black men to see that they can be physicians and they can do what they want to do and enjoy their hobbies and shoes and stuff like that, and just allow, you can have a little swag and be a doctor as well. Like, let's do it. I'll take the L on one side as long as I can make a difference in the long run.
Yeah, the good outweighs the bad in that sense. Yeah. And Dr. Franck, here on High Low News, we like to dig into like the hyper local, the things that relate our guests to our community. So I wanted to know how long you've been practicing medicine. Tell us about where you're from, like the neighborhoods you grew up in, and where you currently what set you currently claim. Like, where are you from right now? Like, where you hanging out these days or living these days? So let's start with how long you've been in medicine.
So I've been in medicine, in the words of The Color Purple, all my life. But that's because I graduated Miami Northwestern in 2005. I graduated Emory in 2009. I graduated med school with my master's and MD in 2014. After 2014, I went to residency. I graduated in residency in 2017, graduated fellowship in 2018. And since 2018, I was in Houston for 2 years, working with Memorial Hermann and their team of sports medicine, orthopedic docs, where we took care of almost all the teams over there, like Houston Baptist, University of Houston. They took care of the Houston Rockets. So it was, and then one of my colleagues who I knew from fellowship at University of Miami reached out to me and was like, "Hey, why don't you come back to Miami?" I was like, "I'm good right now. I'm living life."
What year was this? 2020?
This was 2020 during the pandemic. He reached out to me and was like, "Hey, what do you think about coming back to Miami?" I'm like, "I'm Gucci right now. I'm like just enjoying living in Houston. Houston's a dope city. I got some dope friends here." And I'm like, well, I'm not leaving right now. And then he literally called me during this pandemic, maybe like every other week for almost like 6 months to a year.
Wow.
And it wasn't like he was like, "Oh, I want you to come every day." He was like just calling, having conversations, like, "Hey, just checking up on you. Like, man, how you living over there? What you doing? Like, what's up?" And he would just check in. And then like eventually we got to the point where I was like, "All right, man, I'll come for the interview." And what I realized is that when I came for the interview, I came back because everything was so familiar. And I realized there was so much of a difference that I could make here than I could make in Houston. So like I said, I grew up in Little Haiti, off of 42nd Street.
Wow. Okay.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Jackson Memorial baby. Lived
Me
in
too.
Little Haiti. Moved to like El Portel, Miami Shores area. Went to elementary school at Miami Shores, and then went to Horseman Middle School.
Okay, I'm familiar with Horseman.
And then so right now, actually, I'm right back in the same area. So I'm always going to be a Miami guy because for me, I wanted to make a difference in this community. So I didn't want to leave this community. I work in Memorial in Hollywood, and I have another office in Cypress Creek. But my passion to help is in the community that I grew up in. So I didn't want to move to Broward just to be closer to work. I wanted to be more closer to the stuff I wanted to make an impact in. So I haven't moved up north yet. So
That's commendable. And you know, just to the point of people talk about brain drain and millennials leaving South Florida or leaving Miami. And this, I think it's amazing and also too motivational that you are intentionally saying, hey, I'm going to live and play in my community that I grew up in. And, you know, I'm going to come back to South Florida and work. And so I commend you for that. And this is why you are a recipient of the Black Achievers Award, because of the work that you do. Before I let you go, I want to know in your own words what it means to be a Black achiever.
So what it means to be a Black achiever, I'm actually humbled by the fact that I got nominated and selected as a Black achiever. And what it really means is that what I truly intend to do is make a difference and a legacy in the community that I was raised and in the minds of young men, women, African Americans, or people of color overall. And this is just telling me that I'm on the way to continually making that impact and continue helping people. And that somebody out there nominating me for this just basically tell me, like, I see you, I see the difference you make it. Keep going, King. And like, we gonna do this. And that's one of the things that I love about this, because I had no idea about this going on. I got the email like, oh wow, that's dope. And I was happy to accept, because I'm happy to know that somebody did acknowledge that I am making a difference too. Because sometimes when you're out here doing the work, you don't sometimes you get discouraged because, like, maybe I'm not helping the people that I really want to help, or I'm not doing enough. And like, just to get the recognition means that, you know what, steadfast in what you're doing, there's always more work to be done. But keep going. And that's what it really means to be a Black achiever. I mean, that I'm building that legacy, and I'm making a difference in the community. And that's what really mattered to me. So that one day, you know, I can leave here and be like, you know, well done. And
Yes.
that's we be good with that.
Well, that was amazingly put. Well done, Dr. Geden Franck. I appreciate you for taking time to speak with us and sharing your amazing story on what it means to be a Black achiever. We want to give another shout out to Jack Daniels for sponsoring this event and making sure, as a corporation, to highlight the best and the brightest in our community. So thank you again for being a Black achiever. Guys, it's been another amazing episode of High Low News. Oh, Dr. Geden, before you go, I want to know if there's any way for people to connect with you. Are you online? You have a website or anything? Please, you know, let drop those gems right now so people can connect and follow you.
Oh, definitely. If you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram. I go by my tagline, the neighborhood sports doc, but you can Google, you can IG my name, but it's at Dr. G Franck. Yeah. So at Dr. G Franck. The at sign Dr. DRGFRANCK Frank. So jump on there, and like, I'm always posting some good gems for some motivational stuff for fitness,
Nice.
some whatever I'm doing out in the community, and just some good travel pics, because I love to travel as well. So we're gonna get out here and hit the community. So there's gonna be some good fitness stuff coming up, some good motivation, some giveaways and stuff like that. I got some sneaks I need to give away as well. So like, we gonna hit it up, try and, you know, get people active, get people to exercise, because one of the things that I always want to tell people is that even before we got into this COVID stuff, heart disease is still the number one killer of African Americans out in this country. And one of the biggest things that impacts that is lack of exercise, obesity. So let's get out here, let's exercise, and let's get these people out active, drinking water, and happy and living longer. So that's Dr. G Franck. Hit me up on IG, and if you need anything, I'm here for you.
I love it. And Hello News family, we're going to have an article posted about Dr. Geden, so you'll be able to find his information there. If you weren't able to write it down quick enough, we'll have links directly to his Instagram page so you can connect with him. Again, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story, your amazing story with us, and for being an amazing Black achiever in our community. That's been amazing. You've been an amazing guest, Dr. Geden Franck. Again, we want to give a special thank you to Jack Daniels for sponsoring the Black Achievers Awards. It's going down February 28th at the Historic Hampton House in Miami. This event is a collaboration of Hilo News, Social Exchange, and Sweet Butter Hospitality Group. And you'll be able to see Dr. Geden there being highlighted and spotlighted at this amazing event. You guys do not want to miss it. Also, head to hilonewsmiami.com right now to follow us online, sign up for our email newsletter, and follow us on social media. You'll find all the information there on hilonewsmiami.com on how you can connect with us. We'll see you next time. This has been another great episode of Can We Talk, the Black Achievers Awards special edition. Thank you, Dr. Geden Franck.
No problem.
Bye.
All right. Cool.